Harris Diamond, CEO do McCann WorldGroup, fala que a autenticidade é um dos principais valores que uma marca pode ter durante a crise. Segundo ele, uma marca que é autêntica é capaz de entender a necessidade do consumidor em cada momento e também de dar algo em retorno à comunidade. Nessa entrevista, ele fala sobre algumas das decisões difíceis que ele teve que tomar durante a pandemia, como demitir pessoas, e também fala sobre as projeções de retomada dos negócios no terceiro e no quarto trimestre. Acompanhe com a gente. Now living in this pandemic for a while, will there be permanent changes when we talk about McCann as an organization? You said that you cut real estate, you did some changes. What can you tell me about what will be the permanent changes from now on with this pandemic?
Well, I think when you think about McCann in Brazil, under Hugo's leadership, we've made a lot of changes over the last year or two. Anyway, Hugo and his team have basically brought in technology, they brought in data, they have worked for numerous clients. But clearly the pandemic has had an impact, and the pandemic is changing some of the ways we operate. We found that we can work better from home than we thought we could. And that was a bit of a surprise, to be candid. Our teams are able to create good work for Nestle, for Coke, for General Motors. We've been putting out a lot of work, as you know, both pro bono and for clients during the pandemic and during the crisis. But as you said, we've also found that we don't need as much real estate because of this. We don't necessarily need to be in as many cities, Brasilia, Rio, Sao Paulo. We're looking at our real estate footprint as to what we need with respect to commercial real estate. But at the end of the day, the main thing the pandemic has taught us is that we can bring people together through technology and still make the work that our clients need in the marketplace to advertise and talk about their products.
Everyone has been financially affected by the crisis.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be different with the agencies. What will it take for the agencies to recover economically?
Well, we live on the reality of our clients' business. At the end, our clients basically need consumers to want to be able to, and also to be able to buy products. We're lucky we have a broad consumer list. When you look at what Hugo has built in Brazil with us for our clients, we have everything from Coca-Cola to Nestle to L'Oreal, Heineken. So we're covering a lot of different areas, Sierra. We're covering food, we're covering retail, we cover products that people need at their home, products they need for their family, and products that they also enjoy having. But at the end, what the agency will basically require is for a pretty strong economy. And, we have been lucky, and McCann in Brazil has done very well. It's one of our best offices globally. It does some of our most creative work. It has some of our best clients. It's one of our largest offices in the world. And right now, our clients are still asking us to help them basically bring products out to the market. We need that to continue. We need a good, strong Christmas. But most of all, I think what we all need is for people to feel healthy, for people to feel safe, and for people to feel secure. And that, more than anything else, is what we need.
Do you think that the relationship between clients and agencies have been transformed by the pandemic? And if yes, how?
Well, I think they're stronger today than they've ever been. I can't speak specifically for Brazil, but I can speak globally. The reality is, we're all talking to each other in our homes. And while I went out to find a place where I could stand, the reality is everybody's getting to see everybody's house. Everybody's getting to see their children go in and out of meetings. Everybody's getting to see significant others join meetings. And there are pluses to that. I will be candid. There are minuses to that. It's gone on for a long time. But clearly, because of that, I do feel that we and our clients have got much more intimate with each other and much more understanding of each other. And so I think there has been much more positive from that perspective due to the crisis.
Do you think that at first the clients have slowed down the investments and now they are getting back to invest? They are more confident. I believe it depends on the segment. And also, I would like you to comment about the business pitches. We are seeing a lot of those happening. Brands are doing a lot of business reviews, right?
Yeah. No, I think what's happened is what you said, which is when the crisis first hit, everything froze. Nobody really knew how long it was going to be, what type of life we were all going to have. Would people be able to go to businesses and stores to buy product? I think there was a momentary freeze, a lowering of demand. But I think as it has gone on, companies have gotten more confident. They've also gotten more of a belief that they need to drive demand. In the end, that is what we do. We help create demand for people's products. And so I think right now we're seeing more investment, we're seeing more opportunity, we're seeing clients come back to the marketplace. But most of all, we're seeing consumers beginning to adapt to this reality. Now, at the same time, we all have to understand many people have been hurt. They've been hurt financially, they've been hurt by their health, they've been hurt by friends and family who they've lost. And so we're still living in a pretty precarious moment, in a moment where certainty does not exist. But I think clients are more comfortable today in beginning to plan for a positive future. But the pain is still there. I don't want to minimize. There is still the reality of a crisis, of a health crisis, a financial crisis affecting many of our consumers, many citizens, friends and family. So that's still having an impact on the business.
Considering that delicate moment for the consumers, for the people, how should brands react? How should brands address those delicate sentiments and emotions? How should they behave to give the consumers support and confidence?
Well, I think it's hard to give confidence, but but you can give support. I think government gives confidence. I think corporations can give support. And I think when you take a look at what General Motors did in Brazil with the blood drive, that was a way of both showing how important it was to still be good citizens, how important it was to help other people in need. And it was a way of a company showing that it wanted to give back to the community and to the state. I think when you look at some of the work that we've done for Coca-Cola in Brazil, some of the work that's being done for Nestle. But as you say, there is a line, right? There is a line where it has to be authentic. It has to be real. It has to be based on the values of the company, and the values have to be the true values. And I think people today are looking at all of those things, not just consumers, but regulators and government officials, citizens and NGOs. So I think at the end, authenticity in the marketing is very, very important right now. It has to be value driven.
You said that government should give confidence, and given your past in politics, and we are seeing that people, especially here in Brazil and in the US, are not confident about the government. Shouldn't brands take a stand in that sense?
I think you're right. If you look at the United States, it is clear right now that people do not have confidence in government, depending on how far away government is. They have more confidence in local, then more confidence in state, and less confidence in federal. It's the closer you are to the government, it seems the more confident you are. But overall, there's a lack of faith in government right now. There's a lack of faith in institutions. It's worldwide. It's in the United States, it's in Brazil, it's in the United Kingdom. It's pretty much everywhere. But I think what companies can do is they can't replace government. I don't think people want companies to replace government. I think what companies can do, however, if their values are aligned with where citizens are today, they can basically demonstrate that. What they can also do is they can be of help. They can run the blood drives, they can deliver the food, they can help the NGOs, they can do a lot of things, but they can't replace government. At the end of the day, that's not what corporations are looked to do. I don't think people really want them to do that. I do think people want them to be an assist at this moment of crisis, to be valued at this moment of crisis, but not to replace government.
How do you see the role of creativity during a crisis? It becomes increased, the value of creativity.
You know, for a while there, everything looked a little bit the same, and there was a reality to that. But I think today, to break through, to have a product that actually gets attention, to have a brand get noticed, to have a corporate identity be recognized, and for people to see the value of it, it takes greater creativity than ever to basically differentiate your product, differentiate your company. But even there, you have to be careful, because this is a moment of caution. This is a moment where people want to make sure that the marketing fits the moment. It has to be appropriate for the moment. And we have to recognize that consumers and citizens are hurting. You know, this is not a moment where you can not recognize that in your creativity. I'm very proud of our people. I look at the work that's being done in Brazil, some of the best work that's being done in the world. I think Hugo and his team have done a phenomenal job of sort of understanding where the sentiment is in the country right now. And I think they have been able to bring it alive in some of the work they have done.
Going back to your point about authenticity, what's the path for a brand to discover its authenticity?
Well, I don't think it's the path for a brand to discover authenticity. I think it is to be authentic. I think most corporations do have values, and their employees know their values. And the corporations that have values that fit this moment, that are corporations that have given back to the community, that are recognized as understanding the need of citizens, that try to demonstrate that even at a moment of non-crisis in the last couple of years, those are the corporate values that people want to see. I think it would ring hollow if a company was only known for X and all of a sudden it said, I feel your pain. But I think companies that basically have employees that basically say, this is a company where I feel good working here. This is a company where the values of the company are very similar to the values of my community. I think those companies are able to go out right now and be recognized in the marketplace. I think Coca-Cola traditionally has had those values. You know, when you think about all the work it does every year at around Christmas, but all the work it does year round. And when you take a look at some of the products of Nestle, when you take a look at what L'Oreal has done, these are value-driven companies that basically are able to bring them alive. I think when General Motors did the blood drive, it made sense to people. It sort of felt like that's something General Motors would do. So I think that's the type of authenticity people want to see.
Last time we spoke last year here in São Paulo, you said that McCann's goal is to be always on the top. Is this still a goal in the middle of a crisis more than ever?
Well, I think in the middle of a crisis, our number one goal right now is to make sure our people are safe and to make sure that our people are okay at this moment in time. We have to make very hard decisions. The business is being impacted by the crisis. So to the extent possible, we're trying to make decisions recognizing that and trying to be as helpful to people as we possibly can at a time when we do have to make some difficult decisions. We've given up real estate. We're making decisions in areas like that. So I think our first and foremost goal is our people. We're also trying to make sure that our clients are receiving the assistance they need. You know, everybody's at home. We have the ability to be global. We have the ability to be regional. We have the ability to be local. And so we're trying to make sure that we can bring the thinking, what are we seeing in Asia? That's helped inform what we're doing in Europe, in the United States, in Latin America. So I think it's the learnings we're trying to bring alive to our people. But yes, I would also tell you we still have a goal of being number one. We do want to be the most creative, we want to be the most strategic, and we want to be the most assistant to our clients.
What were the worst decisions that you had to make during these past months?
It's frankly, we've had to let go some people who, through no fault of their own, we've had to make a very difficult decision. You know, normally when you let go of people, you sort of justify it in your own head by saying, you know, they're not what you need at this moment in time. That's not true. We've had to make difficult decisions because of a crisis that is nobody's fault. because of a pandemic that nobody saw. And our goal is to grow our business as quickly as we can to figure out a way to basically grow our business again when this is all over.
How are you feeling? What are you expecting in terms of business for the second semester? Do you expect it to be better than the third semester? The second semester. We are going to the third semester.
I mean, what we're seeing around the globe is we are seeing a recovery in Europe. We've seen a recovery in Asia. We're beginning to see a recovery in the United States, just beginning. And obviously the United States right now has numerous problems in a lot of states. You know, I live in the New York area, and New York is okay, though we lost many, many people 2-3 months ago. So the United States is beginning to recover, so we expect it to get better, but we're not sure. Mexico is, sort of seemingly recovering a little bit, but obviously, the virus has gone from region to region to region. And Latin America is getting it very hard right now. Brazil is being hit hard right now. But we do expect to recover by 2021. I think that's fair to say. But what happens over the next couple of months, I think we've all learned not to try to guess. Because it's just too uncertain. It's just too uncertain.
Over the past few months, the ad industry has been charged for the racial diversity. We've seen the racial protests in the US and also here in Brazil and other parts of the world. I would like to know how are you addressing those issues at McCann?
So we're doing a couple of things. I mean, here in the United States, our original sin was slavery, and we're wrestling with what we did 200 years ago today, and we have not made it to the extent of the society we want it to be. We are focused very much now both on our office and our society in trying to make it better. Within our company in the United States, we're telling everybody what our numbers are. We're allowed to do that in the United States, so we are sort of showing where we are with respect to diversity in our own office. We're looking at all the work we do globally. I mean, I think what I would say about diversity is what we've learned is we need to do more. We are doing more. We're very focused on the issue, both internally, externally, in society, but also just internally, we're trying to do as much as we can right now to recognize that not everybody has had the same advantages in life, that many people have had disadvantages in life. In the United States, it's been very clear that the problems are real, that there is no doubt that as a society, we have failed a good part of our citizens, and we are very focused right now. But it's not just society. Inside of McCann, we have also decided that we need to do more, and we are focused on trying to bring more programs. But now in Brazil last year, we did something called a day of meeting, where we brought everybody together. We talked about the problems of different type of people with different backgrounds. We talked about people of different economic backgrounds. We talked about people of different cultural backgrounds, different religion backgrounds, different societal backgrounds. And so we have been doing this in Brazil. But I think it's clear to all of us that globally there is more to be done. And I will tell you that McCann, I feel we need to do more also.
Agencies have been criticized for some time, have been demanded to be more agile, more innovative, to have more qualities in general. Do you think that this crisis, it's terrible to say that, but do you think that this crisis was good in a way to for the agencies to prove that they can be all that agile and creative and etc.?
I think the people who say that are small agencies that don't have many clients. I think the agencies like ours, we feel we're number one at Con. We're number one with respect to strategy. So we're the most creative agency in the world. We're the most strategic agency in the world. If you look in Brazil, we've become one of the most valuable agencies in Brazil. And I like to think we have the best clients and we have the best people. So no, I don't agree with the concept. I think those are agencies and people who fundamentally just are not number one. I feel that we do meet our clients' needs. We know what our clients should be doing in the marketplace. And I think when you look at the clients we have, whether it's General Motors, Nestle, L'Oreal, Heineken, Coca-Cola, you know, they're in Brazil, Sierra. I mean, it's just so many clients we have. I think they tell you that we're pretty agile and pretty much understand what needs to be done to attract a consumer to their products and make a consumer believe that their products have a meaningful role in their lives.
Do you think that problems such as precification and procurement are advancing, are being solved? How do you see those issues that are always a subject of debate in the industry?
I don't think it's a subject of debate. I think procurement has been with us for a long time. It's going to continue to be with us. I think it's just a reality of the world we live in. You know, we find procurement is both sometimes helpful, sometimes hurtful, like anybody. You know, procurement's job is to basically make sure in most cases that the client receives both a reasonable price and, you know, for the work that we do. Most of the time we can come to an agreement with procurement. And when that happens, generally procurement actually looks to sometimes enlarge our brief, give us more scope. We live with procurement. We understand that it's just part of the world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been there.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, take care.